Hi, I'm Trevor G. Blake, and this time of year I get asked a lot about resolutions and goals, and most people ask from a position of, why don't I get them, and what holds me back, and why can't I achieve them? And you notice the questions are all about why, what's wrong with me? And I'm going to talk in this video about the reasons it's not you at all, and I'm going to give you a little understanding of the system you work in the universe. And when you understand the system a little bit, you realize it's not you, and you can just play the system. I get a lot of emails around this time of year with people saying, I always set resolutions and I never seem to get them. I always feel like, so people's emails typically say, it feels like a time for a refresh, like a do-over. Last year was fun, or maybe not fun, but it certainly was always disappointing, right? So how do I get it right this year? This is one of the reasons I got into the self-help genre in the first place, is there's so much information out there and so much advice out there that if you know any tiny bit of science, it's destined to fail. And when it fails, we blame ourselves. We don't blame the system, we blame ourselves. And so when I got into the self-help sort of genre, I did so with the desire to fix this kind of blaming ourselves when things go wrong, and look at the system and why is it going wrong. And one of the things I discovered was that most of the goal setting techniques that people use to set resolutions and to try and reinvent themselves are based on false information. It's primarily all comes from the 50s, and it's based on a fictitious study that people claimed was done at Yale University, and it was supposed to be a longitudinal study where they took a class of students in a particular year, followed them for 30 years, and then looked at their quote-unquote success in terms of finance and achievements. And the claim was that those who had set goals, which was 5% of the class, had 95% of the wealth. And that's eye-opening, or at least it would be if it was true. This got published in so many articles. It was in newspapers, it was in things like the Pig Gazette, it was in everything you can think of. And people just believed it because it's published in the newspaper or it's spoken about in the media, so it must be true, right? It's like saying, it's on the internet, it's got to be true. And we do fall for stuff like that. And so a debunking organization went to the university and said, can we have a copy of the study? And they said, what study? And he said, was this study that's published everywhere? And they go, oh God, that study was sick of it. It never existed. Nobody ever did it. Go, okay, so I looked into this and I realized that primarily the system that was being sold by these snake oil people is a forward-facing arrow of time. And so goal setting is thinking about the future. And think of it this way, the visual I always have is like trying to cross a pond, stepping on the stones. So when we set goals, we're focused on the here and now. Like, okay, I need to move my foot to the next stone. Okay, good, made it. Need to move my foot to the next stone. Oh, good, made it. Slipped, fell in the water. Damn it, failed. And the problem with that is that we're focusing on the how. Now, I'm a scientist, I'm a physicist in my educational training, but I've been a perpetual student of quantum physics my whole life. No one ever gets to the end of studying quantum physics. In physics, there's a beautiful term called superfluidity. And this means movement without resistance. It's a beautiful term. Now I get emails from thousands of people, and I have people in my transformation experience who have wasted years of their lives trying to get law of attraction to work for them. That doesn't work. So what I've done is I put a tool and technique together that takes the pressure off the person. So you don't have to believe it anymore. You just have to do this tool, and things will change for you, and you'll enjoy the fruits and benefits of that. And the secret to it is that we stop asking how. So if you're doing a New Year's resolution, typically you'll say, okay, you'll think about what you don't want. You say, because I've had all that turkey, I want to lose 20 pounds. So you're thinking about weight, which is what you don't want. You're going to get more weight that way because you get what you think about. So and then the next thing is we'll say, okay, how do I lose weight? And then we'll search for diets, or we'll go get a gym membership or something. And it's the how. And the minute you focus on the how, you lose the superfluidity. You've created resistance to that which you want. And so what I have is a tool and technique that takes the how out of it. Forget about how. No one needs to know how. You can never predict going forward. You can only ever look back and say, now I get how that happened. And so we focus on the end result, and we focus on the day after the end result. So let's say I want to lose 20 pounds. I change my mindset to I am trim, fit, and healthy, and I put an image of the healthy, fit Trevor Blake in my mind. And then I think, okay, what am I doing the day after I've lost my 20 pounds? What am I going to do that day? I'm going to go out and celebrate and have some ice cream. So whatever it is, or I'm going to go jogging, or whatever you want to do. And you focus on the end result. And what that does is it catapults you across the pond. You no longer have to think about your steps. You just wait for that to happen. And it changes your mindset completely because the guilt and pressure of having to make it happen is taken away from you. And in doing that, you fall into this beautiful scientific phrase, superfluidity. And it feels magical the first time it happens. You almost feel guilty that it was so easy. And then we start to question ourselves, did I actually do that, or did I just get lucky? And then we question again, and we'll set another goal, and we'll start to think about how to make that happen. And it won't work. And people just get frustrated. So once you know the tool and technique, and I take the pressure off everybody in my transformation experience from having to believe in anything. Just do it. Enjoy the results. Focus on the result only. The how is taken care of by the universe and by magic, by science, by all these wonderful things of what happens when we play with energy in a different way. And so people do fail typically on their resolutions and on their goals simply because they don't understand superfluidity or the illusion of time as a forward-facing arrow. Once that's taken away from you, then it's just fun. So for most people, the first step is the hardest. I call it the jump, because the first step is more like a jump than a step. I've had a lot of people come into the transformation experience up to their eyes in debt, and that fills people full of self-doubt. Am I just going to get in more debt? Am I fooling myself by yet another course? My tagline for transformation experience is the last course you ever need to buy, because that's what it is, because it works. And so I'm totally confident that it works, and so much so that I stand behind everything that I do. And if there was a chance that it didn't work, the only reason it wouldn't work is you didn't do the work. But the first step is really easy if you know that there's no risk involved. So I say to people, jump, and you'll find out that you fly. You never fall. But if you fall, I'll catch you. I'd say ask yourself this question: is the life you're living the one you dreamt of when you were a child? And if it's not, then jump. And I handhold all the way. I'll fly along with you until you feel comfortable doing it yourself. And then I'll say, don't forget me when you're rich and happy. Don't forget how it happened, and make a donation to my animal sanctuary. I'm Trevor G. Blake, and if you've liked the message in this video, please hit the subscribe button and the little bell and anything else that your fingers can find on the screen, because this message needs to go out there to far more people than just you. There are millions of people out there working under a false assumption of why they're not worthy of achieving the life they've always wanted. And if you like this message, then please share it with far and wide, with as many people as you can. And the more you subscribe and the more you hit the bell, the more I get to hit the proper algorithm for this to be shared far and wide. This also is a system, and we have to play the system just the same as we have to play the system up here. So please do that for us. I appreciate it. The most important thing you can do for yourself, because it's your life that's at stake, not mine. I do this because I'm trying to fix something that I feel it needs fixing in the self-help personal development genre. But your life might need fixing, in which case go to trevorgblake.com, have a look at some of the freebies, and then jump into the transformation experience. Your life will change for the better forever.